So whenever these crowns are used in our life, it makes us a different person. Keser Torah, Keser Kahuna, and Keser Malchus. A Melech is different, a Kohen is different, and a Baal Torah is different. Keser Kahuna Zachabo Aaron, Shneamar, Vaisalo, Lazar Acharav, Bris Kuna Solam. Keser Kahuna, depends who you are. You're not a Kohen, you can try your hardest, but you can't be a Kohen. Keser Malchus, Zachabo David, same thing. If I'm not from Yehuda and from David and Melech's family, and not part of this specific line, tough luck on me. I could dream about it all my life, but I'm not going to be the king. Those aren't the goals in life. The goal in life is not to be a Kohen or to be a Melech. That's not what parents daven for their children. What are they daven for? Keser Torah, Hari Munach, Omed, Muchan Lakol. Keser Torah is sitting and waiting for anybody to grab. Every single person. Shene'amar, Torah tziva lanu Moshe, Mo Rasha, Kehilas Yaakov. It is the Morasha of the entire Kehila. Kehilas Yaakov. Whoever wants to can come and take the crown. It's there for the taking. It doesn't belong. It's not private property of anybody. Torah is open for all. Shema Tomar, Torah. And you might say, okay, fine, but I want to be a Kohen. That's much better than Torah or the king. Says the Rambam based on Chazal. No, Hari Omer, Pi Malachim Yimlochu, Rosnim Yachok Yitzedek, Hisarim Yashuru. Alamadata, the Keser Torah, Godam Keser Kuna, the Keser Malachos. Based on the pasuk, which we're not going to go into now, Keser Torah is the greatest. And we have to recognize that's true royalty. True royalty is somebody who is Pulo Torah, somebody who is very unique. I just was sent. Rabbi Schachter obviously is one of the Poskei Hadar, one of our Rebbeim, and somebody just sent me that there was a something on YouTube or whatever you call it, Zoom, that his son was interviewed, telling some of the stories about him over the past couple of months. I mean, Rabbi Schachter has been inundated by hundreds of thousands of questions from all over the world, and his son, who is like the go-between, right, Yosef, you might have heard some of these, because he's the one of the rabbis in Yosef Shul. So he talks about how chief rabbis and the head of COVID departments and hospitals and medical ethicists, everybody is calling him. So some amazing stories, just to mention two, because this is what it means for Keser Torah, that it shapes a person. It shapes a person. One of the questions he said, there was a head of a large department at a hospital that called Rav Schachter with a very complicated question, whatever it was. I mean, he's the kind of question that you deal with. 2 patients sharing a ventilator. I mean, questions that there's never been anything like this in the history of, you can't just look up the question. These are major issues. So after the question, there was silence on the other line. And the doctor was saying, Rabbi Schachter, are you there? Are you there? So the son, Rabbi Schachter's son, Rabbi said that he had to text the doctor offline and say, he's there, he's there. He's just crying. And then he'll get his composure back. Meaning, even with dealing with life and death issues, for 3 months straight, every day, he didn't lose that humanness. He didn't lose that connection and the feeling, the empathy that he has for every single Jew, every single person. I remember when he was in Avela, sometimes he davens for the Yamud. He can't get through the bracha of Yerushalayim Yircha without crying, because he feels it, and that's part of who he is, and that's something that we have to realize. Keser Torah isn't just something we learn. Keser Torah is something that we're crowned in. We're crowned in, and he is crowned in. And we have to look at our leaders to be able to appreciate. Out of all this, he just told one other story. I'll just mention, and then we'll get into it. He says he said he called his father. He tries to call his parents every day. And one time after Shabbos, he was trying to call, and the line was busy. Half an hour after Shabbos, 40 minutes after Shabbos, the line was busy. He doesn't know. So finally, he gets through. He says, "What was going on?" He said somebody called me after Shabbos. He said, "Really? A big shiloh? What was it? What was the case?" I said, "No, it wasn't a shiloh. It wasn't a shiloh." He's like, "It wasn't a shiloh? What were you on the phone for? Who was it? Did I ask?" He says it was Rav David Cohen. Rav David Cohen is one of the Poskei Hadar. Also, he's in Brooklyn. He's the postic for OL. He's huge. He's huge. He said, "Why did Rav David Cohen call you? He had a shiloh. He had a talk." He says, "No." He says, He says over Shabbos he was learning, and he thought of a big chiddush in Metzeches Menachos. And he wanted to talk Rav with somebody, and he couldn't go to his shul. He couldn't go to his yeshiva. He was home alone. He's like, who am I going to call? I'll call my friend, Rav Hershel Schechter. I'll call him because he'll be able to appreciate the chiddush and talk to me in Metzeches Menachos about that chiddush. That's what we were talking about. In the middle of Corona, in the middle of everything, the Gdolei Adar are still talking about Metzeches Menachos. Right? They're still talking about, Torah is constant. Right? It reminded me of that Gemara in Megillah about Mordechai doing the carbon mincha, right, when Haman was on his way. So it's really amazing. But this is Kesser Torah. We have to try to do what we can. But Kesser Torah is open in front of each of us. Morach Shah Kehilas Yaakov, right? It's in front of the Kehillah, the Kol Echad V'Echad. If you want, I could send you. It was like a half-an-hour interview. Let me know if anybody wants it. I could forward it to the WhatsApp group. It was like Rabbi Ephraim Goldberg from Florida. He was interviewing him on this radio show that he does for a shul. So that was where it was from. We told a couple of other stories. Amazing. Anyway, this is the Rambam in Ilchos Talmud Torah Perek Gimel Halacha Aleph. We have to make sure that's what these years are for. To crown ourselves with the Kesser Torah. There's Limud Torah and then living life based on Torah. Okay, are we ready? We ready to start another week of learning Torah together? Are we ready? I don't hear you. Yeah, I see you. You can just go like this with your fists, and then I know that we're good. I don't, have to hear the excitement in your faces, and we do what we can. Okay. So Sunday is always like, what were we talking about last? Right, last time we met, we spoke about Gemara. We were talking about Masne al Mashakasa Batorah. So we're on one of the major sugyas here regarding Tanai. And we already dealt with the Yad Ramah, Yaakov Avinu, and the Sfarno. We're not getting back to that. We're dealing with the question of the Rishonim. The question of the Rishonim, as Tosfos is questioning Ksubis, and the Ramban and the Ritva's question right here. And Basar Kuf Chavav, but the Tosfos is questioning Ksubis, and that is, if we make a Tanai, and the Tanai doesn't work because it's against what it says in the Torah. Masna Mashakasa B'Torah. The halacha is, as we know, Maisa Kayam B'Tno Bato. The Tanai is gone, and the Maisa fits. So we asked, Tosfos asked, the Rishonim asked, how is it that the Tanai could be batal, the Maisa works? He doesn't want it to be. He doesn't want the Maisa to be. And therefore, the whole thing should fall apart. You want to say you can't go against what it says in the Torah? Okay, fine. You can't go against what it says in the Torah, but what does that have to do with your das? You didn't want to be married with these obligations, right? So why is it that the Maisa is Kayam and the Tanai is batal? So we are going to have 3 answers to that question. That's the structure of the sugya. Clarity is always crucial to know where we're going. 3 answers. We're within the middle of the first answer of Tosfos, right? Tosfos gives one answer, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more before we get to the second and the third. That's later on. Tosfos' answer is, what's Tosfos' answer? Somebody remind me. What did Tosfos suggest? What was Tosfos' answer? Somebody got it. Somebody from anywhere. Remember Tosfos' answer.
It's a chiddush that we learned from the Reuven Ganachatzi Menashe, and we can only learn that to the case in which they asked where it wasn't against what was in the Torah.
Beautiful. The whole concept of a Tanai is a chiddush. You shouldn't be able to destroy any action with a Tanai. After all, Tanai is just words. The Maisa is an action. But the whole idea of Tanaim is a chiddush, which we learn from the fact that the Torah says it. But we're going to limit it. Right, B'nai Gad and B'nai Ruvain, right, at the end of Sefer Bamidbar. That's what we know Tanaim from. So we limit it to Tanaim that are similar to B'nai Gad and B'nai Ruvain. That's what it says. The Havamina, Shum Tanai Eina Mavatel Asamaisa. No Tanai should be Mavatel. Afil Lo Yiskayim B'Sofa Maisa Kayam. No Tanai should work. But once we learn Tanai, okay, we limit it. Fine, that's Tosfos. But we're working on the beer of Tosfos. What does Tosfos mean? What does Tosfos mean? Why should it be called Bittul HaMaisa? Bittul HaMaisa, asked the Achronim, asked Rabbi Chanan and others, if I do an action and then a week later I want to say, I want to ruin the Maisa. It should be totally on something. That's called Bittul HaMaisa, right? We're ruining the Maisa. But here, I'm formulating it at the time of the Maisa. Why should that be? I'm getting married al Manas, I don't have to do these obligations. Why is that called Bittul HaMaisa? Why should that? That's part of the Maisa. That should be preventative. That's not called breaking. That should be preventative. That's the kasha. What's the svara of Tosfos? Always call it bittul hamaisa. So we did one. We're going to have another, two different formulations of explaining this that are very, very similar, but they come at it from different perspectives. And the secret of it all, we're going to do it today. I put it on the revised sheet that I sent out to you. We'll see the Gemara in Ksubis, which might be the secret of it all. But we saw Rabbi Chanan, and then we started seeing the Rav. Just to remember, again, as a biur of Tosfos. So what did Rabbi Chanan say? He pointed to the Gemara in Meseches Gittin on Daf Pei Beis. The Gemara there makes a chilik between chutz and almanas. Yaakov, what did the Gemara say? There's between chutz and almanas.
There's a machlokas between Rabbi Eliezer and the Chachamim. If someone who divorces his wife, I forgot the exact lashon he uses, but the Gemara is trying to figure out if it's chutz or almanas, and if it's chutz, then the Chachamim would be molded to.
So chutz, exactly. So chutz was something that was much more internal. Chutz was something much more internal. If somebody gets divorced, chutz miploni, the Gemara says that's much more problematic than saying hareya mugureshes li almanas shelo tinasi leploni. The case of chutz is an internal problem. It's a problem in the ma'isa itself. Almanas is an external problem. There's full das for the ma'isa, but there's a condition on the ma'isa. It's different between an internal, we might formulate it like this, an internal limitation versus an external condition. Internal limitation, that's chutz. That's not what a t'nai is. A t'nai is not an internal limitation. A t'nai is an external condition. And that's highlighted by understanding the difference between chutz and almanas. Almanas is a t'nai. And therefore you have full das for the ma'isa. So says Rabbi Chanan, and that's why halachically the mechanism of t'nai is not internal. The mechanism of t'nai is an add-on. It's not limiting. And if it's an add-on, it doesn't matter if I say it at the time of the ma'isa. It's always going to be called an add-on. And if it's always an add-on, it's always going to be called levatel es ha'ma'isa. That's why Tosfos thinks it's such a chiddush to say t'nai. Because after all, it's something external to the ma'isa itself. The ma'isa is the marriage, and this is coming from the outside. Therefore, that's why Rabbi Chanan says that chutz versus almanas highlights the difference between what a t'nai is and what an internal problem is. That was Rabbi Chanan explaining Tosfos. Then we started to discuss Rav Soloveitchik also. Rav who explained Tosfos, again in a similar way, but based on different sources. That was Tosfos. This is the last thing we did on Wednesday. Tosfos in Kiddushin on Daf Mem Tes. Tosfos in Kiddushin Mem Tes and Beis says there are three categories of actions. Remember this Tosfos. Know this Tosfos. There's some makoros in this sugya that are really shas makoros, but to remember for life. Tosfos in Ksubis Nun Vav, that's one of them. This Tosfos is another one. Kiddushin Mem Tes. This Tosfos comes up all the time. Three categories of actions that have to do with gilui das, revealing your das or not. Some types of actions are totally not obvious actions, right? I sell you a watch. I sell you a watch. I sell it to you. The next day I came over and said, you know what? The sale didn't work. You're like, why? He says, because I only sold it to you on condition that my wife would make hamburgers tonight. But you didn't make hamburgers, so you know what? The sale wasn't good. What are you talking about? You didn't say anything. It's totally not obvious. If you want to make a t'nai like that, then you have to use all the rules and regulations of t'naim. You need mishpatei t'naim. You have to say it. Not only say it, you have to say it with all the rules. Say it double and say positive or negative. That's one category of action. That's a full-fledged t'nai. Then you have the other category of actions. The other categories of action. The other extreme first. What's the other extreme? A person gives away all of his property. He doesn't think he has any children. He's 95 years old and he's giving away everything. And then all of a sudden his son walks in. The son walks in. The son walks in. So it says the Tosfos, it's obvious that he didn't want to give everything away if he knew he had a son. He didn't have to say a word. It's obvious from the situation itself. That's called Dvarim Shebelibo Ubelev Kol Adam. That's not called what we call Dvarim Shebelev. It's Dvarim Shebelibo Ubelev Kol Adam. That's totally obvious. You don't have to say a word. Is that Tanai? Is that a problem? Like the son walks in. Oh, it's a Tanai? Says the Rav. No, that's not Tanai. Or even the middle case. What's this third category? Something that is pretty obvious, but it's not totally obvious. A person is selling their stuff because they're planning to make aliyah. They have to go through all the rules and regulations and mention something. You know what? We're moving to Israel, so we're selling our stuff. You don't have to make a condition for that. Why? What's the difference between category 1 and the other two we just mentioned? Explains the Rav. Category 1, that's really Tanai. That's a condition. There is full das for the Maisa. Tanai is something external. Tanai is something separate. It uproots it, and to uproot it, you have to have the standards, you have to have double, miras das, you have to really say it. When it comes to the other two categories, that's not Tanai. That's not, oh, he wants to do it, but there's an external. No. There's a limiting from the inside, what we would call ta'us, not Tanai. That's the Rav's Lashon. If you get to look at it in the Rishimot Shir Mabamitzia, the Rav writes on Daf Nun Aleph, he says, there are two dinim in Bittul HaMaisa. Number one, Bittul HaMaisa midin ta'us, a mistake. Both of the second two categories I mentioned. That's not Tanai. That's just a mistake from within. You didn't have das for this. And then Bittul HaMaisa midin Tanai. Venira, Kishachal din ta'us, as there was no das kinyan in the first place. We call Maisa Mekach lo chal meikar b'glal hatos. Mekach wasn't chal at all. Chasra etzem hadas lasos a kinyan. We're missing the das. She'ekin b'tnai yesh das kinyan. By tonight there's full das for the kinyan. It's just that Maisa is mevutal. The tnai can come in and torpedo it from the outside. It's kind of like, just thinking about it now, if there's a bomb that explodes inside, or a torpedo comes and smashes it from the outside. That's the difference between Tanai and Ta'us. I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I think it helps, right? An explosion from the inside of the boat, that's Ta'us. If it's a torpedo from the outside, that's a Tanai. Right? Even if it in 10 years from now, you'll remember, oh, Rebbe said torpedo and explosions and cheer, and that's how you remember Tanai and Ta'us, all worth it, Dayenu. You have to make it illustrative. But again, that's the difference between the two. And that's how the Rav explained the different categories of that Tosfos and Kiddush. And he also used it, the Rav also used this to explain the Ravid. The Ravid. Hope you got to see the Ravid. Again, we can spend 3 shiurim on this Ravid. We're not going to. We're going to spend 5 minutes. The Ravid in Hilchos Zechiyah Matana. Zechiyah Matana in Perek Gimel Halacha Ches. Perek Gimel Halacha Ches. Good. Here we go. And again, if anybody didn't see any of these sources beforehand, please, Ikona, your Keser Torah, look it up afterwards. I know we still are saying this is not the normal way to learn. We're doing the best we can. We're learning together, but Bez Hashem soon, we hope it's going in the right direction to be able to get back to have learning together. But the Rambam says in the Ravid, right, in Hilchos Zechiyah Matana, the Rambam quotes his Rebbeim. Not often does the Rambam quote anybody. Think about it. Tosfos quotes everybody, many Baalei Tosfos. The Ramban quotes, many Rishonim quote. The Rambam hardly quotes anybody. What does he quote? He quotes his Rebbeim. Once in a while, he quotes the Rimigash. That's his father's Rebbe. Once in a while. I still don't know. I never got the answer for whether the Rambam knew about Rashi. I don't know. Right, the Rambam, lived after Rashi. I don't know if Rashi made it to where the Rambam. Did he know about it? Never quote him, but I don't know. Tosfos quotes the Rambam in two places. Probably Tosfos quotes the Rambam. Menachas Membeis, look it up. He quotes the Rambam. Moshe ben Maimon. But anyway, says the Rambam in Hilchos Achia. He quotes his Rebbeim. Rabotzai Horu she'ein tzarach lichbol es atnai ulahaktim hein lalav. You don't need all the rules and regulations of Tanai, which we didn't even go through. There are a lot of rules and regulations of Tanai. You have to say the positive before the negative. If this, then this. If not, then not. You have to say double. It's called Tanai Kafel. If it rains, then we're married. If it doesn't rain, then we're not married. All the different rules. We're going to get to another one of the rules, B'Shem, soon. But the Rambam says you only need those rules by Gittin and Kiddushin. The Ein L'Davar Zeraya. He quotes his Rebbeim, who says it only applies to Gittin and Kiddushin. Do you need full rules and regulations? There's no raya for this, says the Rambam. And the Ravid gives a svara. The Ravid gives a svara. Right, Nathaniel, you wanted to talk about this Ravid. Here we go. Right, the Ravid gives a svara. Afal pishein raya l'davar zeicha l'davar. I'll give you the svara. Why is it that by everything else, by a regular case, let's say of monetary law, you don't have to go through all the rules and regulations? You just have to say, if it rains, no deal. By Gittin and Kiddushin, you have to go through all the rules and regulations. Says the Ravid, Tam gadol dol davar. Ve'echi tachein. Zem mocher karka. O no snow. Va'omer. Ini mochro elam ken yasli kach v'kach. Notzi oso biyado. Below asa masha hisna alav. When it comes to selling a piece of land, I sold you a piece of land as long as, I made it tonight, as long as you invite me to the bar mitzvah. You don't invite me to the bar mitzvah, I don't want to sell you a piece of land. You didn't invite me to the bar mitzvah. The sale works. There's the Ravid, the guy's screaming. He wanted it to only work if the tonight was fulfilled. How can we force this upon him? The Ravid says, he expressed this is what he wanted. He doesn't need to say that in double terms. Right? This is mominous. Binyanim. If he expressed, how can we say that? Aval Gittin and Kiddushin omdin daitahu. We estimate since he's under the chuppah, we assume that tznoim are maflig bidvarim. That's a hard phrase to translate. How would you translate maflig bidvarim?
He's not really sure what he wants.
He's not really sure, or I would say he's sure he wants to get married or divorced, but he's kind of, we might say, exaggerating. He's saying extra words. He doesn't really mean it. Or maybe that's what you meant, Eli. He's not sure if he really wants the extra thing. Right? He's maflig. He's saying some extra things. The kir of hadas for richuk hadas ain't tnai mobo. L'rachiko karev elam pain tizko kaflo. You want this to really be a tnai by marriage? You better say it in double. You want the tnai to work by Gittin and Kiddushin, you have to strengthen it. What is the Ravid saying? What is the Ravid saying? You need mishpatei atnoim by Gittin and Kiddushin, but not by Dini Mamanis and by other areas. Explains the Rav. It's based on the idea that we have been talking about. By Gittin and Kiddushin, when people get married, they're not fooling around. They're not joking. They're not going onto the chuppah or giving a get and saying, yeah, I'll manas that, it rains, that, you do this, you do that. If somebody's involved in Gittin and Kiddushin, it's a very serious act. We could assume that they have full das for Gittin and Kiddushin. Full das. And if there's any t'nai on it, that's an external condition. So for that external condition to connect, you need to say it with perfect double, ein kodim alav, all of the details that are needed. Dine Mamanis, explains the Rav, it's not really t'nai. What does the Ravid say? can you force him to take it? Says the Rav, because the Rav understands that that's a din of ta'us. That's not a din of t'nai, really. Because by mumnus, you don't have full gemiras das unless the condition is fulfilled. You don't want to do the kinyan without it. The bedini mumnus anan tzadi. The das kinyan tluya b'mashisnu abaylim. The das kinyan is limited. It's not like you have full das. Oh, but there's a condition. No, the das kinyan is limited by mumnus, and that's why any revealing of your das is going to limit it. Masha'ekain, by marriage, people, you're doing marriage or divorce, that's serious business. The full das for Kiddushin and Gerushin. You're adding something on from the outside if you want to do that. If you want to latch that on, it needs all the rules and regulations of Mishpatei Tanaim. It's the same idea as we've said. The same idea as Rav said, Tanai is something external. Tanai is not blowing something up from within, it's torpedoing it from without, from external. It's not a limit in the person's das of what is going on. So Rav Chanan used the Mishnah and the Gemara in Gittin, Daf Beis. The Rav used the Tosfos in Kiddushin, and the Rav in Zechiyah. I didn't give you this to, yeah.
Based on that, though, you're saying that since Gittin and Kiddushin is very serious, then people aren't going to mess around. Then shouldn't we assume that even if they only make it one way, they're being serious because people don't make jokes about this?
No, the point is they're so serious about it, we assume the marriage is the marriage. If you want to affect the marriage in any way, you have to do it with a super duper, glue. And unless this t'nai is made with super duper, we know that you're serious about it, we're not going to trust the t'nai. We're just going to say the marriage is the marriage. If you only say it one way, if you only say a little bit of it, we're going to think, you don't really mean it. You say it in both ways. I'll give you another example. I added this morning. I didn't see it. But again, it's a very famous Ran. It goes on. I learned Ran in Daf Yomi. Top 10 Rans. The Ran in Nedarim. The Ran in Nedarim is unique. I think I mentioned before, Yisrael Salanter. Some of you are smiling. Yisrael Salanter once said, you know what he thinks Gan Eden is? A chair, a shtender, and a Gemara Nedarim with the Ran. That's what he thinks Gan Eden is. Some people think that's Gehenim. That's for Shalom. But again, that's Gan Eden for Yisrael Salanter. But the Ran on Nedarim is, he acts like Rashi, he acts like Tosfos, right? Because we don't have regular Rishonim on Nedarim. We don't have Rashi, we have the Mefarish, we have fake Rashi, and then we have the Ran on the page. There's top 10 Rans. This is one of the top 10 Rans. Take a list. In the front of my Gemara in Nedarim, on the first front cover, I have top 10 Rans. That's my subjective, very relative list. There's no official top 10 Rans. I don't even know if there are 10 here, but I could count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. 11. Top 11. Okay. Anyway, this is one of them. Hey Zion. Hey Zion. Gemara there says, Did we discuss that earlier this year? Last year? Maybe we were going to. The sugya of Tol Kedei Dibur Kedibur Dami. You're allowed to be Choser Bo, Tol Kedei Dibur. Amelach HaKadosh, Akel HaKadosh. You always have a Tol Kedei Dibur. Says the Gemara, there are 4 exceptions to Tol Kedei Dibur. Okay, we're good. Yeah. Okay, so what was the last thing you got? Top 11 Rans. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, the Gemara says in Nedarim Pei Zayin, the Gemara says there that talking about the sugya of Tol Kedei Dibur, that is the most unique usage of Tol Kedei Dibur in all of Shas. Nedarim Pei Zayin. The Gemara says there, Rachmana litzlan, if a relative dies, somebody hears about it, they have to tear kriya. They tear their beged. They hear one of the relatives died. What happens if they heard about the relative that died, they tore kriya, and then 10 minutes later they said, oh, you know what? He didn't die until 5 minutes ago. You tore kriya too early. Sorry. He fainted before. We thought he died, but he didn't. He really died 5 minutes after he tore kriya. So the halacha is you have to tear kriya again, because the kriya has to be as a reaction to death. But the Gemara says, what if he died within Tol Kedei Dibur of your kriya? So then you're Yotze your day Kriya. Whoa. Like, isn't Toka Dibur just like ability to go back that has nothing to do with going back? So we're not getting into that now, but that's the context of the Gemara. That's the Gemara. The Gemara there says that there are 4 exceptions to the rule of Toka Dibur. What are they? There are really 2 that are 4. Megadef, Avodah Zarah, somebody that curses God. Somebody curses God and says, "Oh no, I was just joking." There's no going back. Cursing God, Avodah Zarah, accepting another God, Itin and Kiddushin. Those 4. Somebody goes over to a woman, Hari Amukuteshas, leave the Bazuk like Rabbi Yisrael, just joking. Doesn't work. There's no Chazar Tok to Dibur by Megadef, Avodah Zarah, Itin and Kiddushin. Those are the 4 exceptions. Quran wonders, is there a Svara? Why those 4? Why those 4? Why can't you go back to the Dibur? You go back for everything. Ephraim, you with me? Right? Why can't you go back? Says the Ran. Because those 4 people don't joke about. People don't joke about cursing God, Avodah Zarah, Itin and Kiddushin. Therefore, if you did it, you did it. You must have had full computer stas. Says the Ran. The Shar Mili, V'lo Chamiri Kulehai. They're not so chamor. Sh'adam Ose Osam, Lo B'Gemar Daitu Ose. The person does that, and he's not selling anything. People can joke about anything. Ela Daito, people always know that they could go back. Avohani, even the Chamiri Kulehai. Since they are so chamor, Ein Adam Ose Osam, Ela Baskama Gemura. People don't do them unless they're totally Askama Gemura. Mishum Hachi, you can't go back to Tok Dibur. That's the Ran and the Dharm. That's exactly what our Ravid says. People don't joke around. The Ran says it by Tok Dibur, and therefore there's no Chazara. The Ravid says people don't joke around, and therefore, if you want to make a T'nai, it better be a super duper one. It better be with all the Mishpatei T'naim, or else it's not going to work. But either way, the Rav gave that shot to the Ravid based on our ideas that, again, T'nai is always, it's all explaining Tosfos. T'nai is being mevatel the Maisa, not breaking it from within. Maybe this whole idea of T'nai being external is rooted in a Gemara. This Gemara I mentioned last time. Hopefully some of you got to see it. If not, let's see it now. Those who have a Ksubis in front of you, those who have access to a Gemara Ksubis, you can open it up. Yud Tasam Abeis. Yud Tasam Abeis and Ksubis. The Gemara there talks about the 12th line or so. Amar of Nachman. Again, non-zooming, I would call on many more people, but have to understand the limitations and what works. So, Amar of Nachman. Everybody with me? Everybody with me? Levi, you with me? Who else? Mikey, you with me? Lomo?
Hey, Rabbi.
Good. Aaron, Yehuda, Eli, Yosef, Avrami, Yonatan, Yaakov, Avram, Nathanael, Tov, Zakai, and Yedidya. Okay, I think I got everybody. Aaron, did I get you? Okay. Anyway, so the Gemara says, Amar Nachman, Eidim Sha'amru Amana Hayidvarenu. There's a star that says Ruben Oshim $1 million.
Rabbi, what daf are you on?
Yud Tasam Abeis. Yud Tasam Abeis. Rav Nachman says, there's a star that says Ruben Oshim $1 million, and there are 2 Eidim signed on it. The Eidim come to court, Eidim that signed it, and they say, this star is not a true star. Amana Hayudvarenu. What's the star Amana? It's where 2 people, Ruben and Shimon, came to these Eidim before, and they said, Ruben says, I'm probably going to borrow from Shimon next week. If you write the star now, just write the star now so that, we have it. They didn't witness it. That's a star Amana. Ruben has Ma'amin Shimon. In Emanim. They're not believed to say that. The star is a kosher star. Eidim can't come along and say it's a fake star. They're not believed. Moda Hayidvarenu Ein Emanim. The Tanakhama says also by Moda. The Moda means, let's say, Ruvain is being held at gunpoint. to lend money to Shimon, or to borrow money from him, or to do anything, make a kinyan. He says, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, you better come here and you're selling it or else I'm going to kill you. So Reuven goes to two witnesses before and says, I'm going through this kinyan tomorrow at 10 o'clock. It's a fake. I'm being forced to do it. That's moda'ah. So the Eidim say, the guy told us before and that it was a fake. The Tanakama here says, Ein Amanim. Mar Baravashi Amar, that case would be believed. Why? Why is the second case any better? Mar Baravashi, because they're not lying in that case. The first case of a shtar mana is a fake shtar. Nothing ever happened. Modah, it actually happened. They're saying that the guy came to us beforehand that it was going to be forced. What could you do? That's what the Gemara says. My time, a high nitan likaseh, a low nitan likaseh. This one is appropriate to be written. Shtar modah, the shtar amana, right? That's totally totally fake. Nothing happened yet. That's all background. Now we get to our issue. Oy minei Rabbi Meir Nachman. T'nai hayidvarenu. Mahu. Two Eidim say, Reuven borrowed money from Shimon, but it was on a condition that was not fulfilled. It does not say anything about the condition in the shtar. It was a t'nai. It was not fulfilled, so he doesn't owe them money. What's halacha there? Eidim say there was a t'nai. Look at the language of the Gemara. Modav amana. The first two cases are worse. Why? Because they're trying to uproot the shtar. And here too, do we say that they're trying to uproot the shtar? Well, Maisa, in all these cases, they're all similar. They're all trying to uproot the shtar and say it's not a good shtar. O Dilma, Tanai. Here's the line. If you have a Gemara at home, you can underline this. Milsa achrisi. What do we say? Tanai is a milsa achrisi. What does that mean in this context? It means that it's not breaking from within. It means Tanai is considered a separate factor. And therefore, it can be different than Modah and Amana. And what's the answer? The answer is Husuladina, right? You could go be Makayim the shtar and get it collected. Okay, we're not going to get into the answer, but what's that side of the Gemara? Tanai is a different kind of breaking. It's not being oker the shtar. It's milsa achrisi. It's a separate factor. That's exactly what we're talking about here. It's by a t'nai, it's full dots on the Maisa. T'nai is coming in from the outside. It's an external, and that's why Tosfos says if there's something wrong with the t'nai falls away, and the Maisa is kayam. What do you mean he didn't want to? No, that's the mechanism of t'nai. The mechanism of t'nai is that it works externally. And I just saw this afternoon the beautiful Tosfos. Tosfos even highlights our issue here. It's separate. It's not totally separate. Look what Tosfos says in Tosfos O Dilma. Tosfos says, Pirish. What does it mean? T'nai is milsa achrisi. Pirish. L'davar acher hein bayin. They're testifying about a condition. 1 second, Yaakov. They're testifying about a condition separate. Below la akiras hashtar. Elo tosefes ba'alma. They're explaining an additional factor that might affect the shtar, but it's not causing the eternal uprooting of the shtar. The Tosfos then adds, and then Yaakov did the question, Avo ein lefarish milsa achrisi lagamre. Don't say it's something totally not connected to the shtar. Lo shayach leidusan rishona. Imo. If they didn't come and say, yeah, it was a good shtar, but it was paid up. Saying it was paid up is more separate than saying there was a t'nai on it that was unfulfilled. Right? Saying it was paid up says the shtar was perfect, and now there was another thing that happened, it was paid up. The Tosfos is noting the tension about t'nai. T'nai is separate, but it's also connected. The lemaisa is going to uproot the shtar, but it's not going to do it from within. It's not like a taina of parua. It's not a taina of parua, which is a totally separate claim to the shtar. It's a t'nai, which is connected to the shtar. It's still milsa achrisi as compared to amana and moda. This is all, though, Tosfos's approach to our sugya, and that is, why is it that when somebody tries to get married, somebody tries to do something, it's t'nai, masal mashkasa b'Torah, t'nai against what it says in the Torah. Remember where we come from, Yerusha. Somebody tries to be morish somebody who's against the Torah, it doesn't work. What do you mean it doesn't work? Because that t'nai is a milsa achrisi, t'nai is a chiddush, and therefore can't affect the maisa if there's something wrong with it. That is all approach number one. Yaakov.
What was the second side of the question?
The second side of the question in Ksubis was, do you say Lamaisa, it's going to ruin the shtar? So it's just like Amana and Moda. And they don't have the power to do that. Adim, there's a shtar that's a perfect shtar with Adim signed on it. So they're trying to ruin it now. So Lamaisa, however they ruin it, is not going to be accepted. Right? Or do we say no? T'nai is a separate factor, not directly uprooting the shtar. And therefore, we would accept what they say. We'd accept what they say. Okay. Let's move on to number two. Number two, approach number two.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
I don't really understand why the fact that it's a chiddush would affect why it doesn't, would explain why it doesn't affect the Maisa itself.
The fact that Tosfos is saying that really, the way Tosfos is learning it is that the mechanism of t'nai shouldn't affect the Maisa. Because you do it, you're buying something, you're selling something, you're getting married, whatever it is, you're doing that. You're saying if something, what are you doing? Look at what you're doing right now. That should depend on something. You're doing a Maisa. The Torah is machadesh that you can make something conditional. It's the chiddush to say that. You're doing a physical action. Your physical action should have teeth for whatever it accomplishes. So we're going through that. Tosfos's lumdus is that whole idea of making a condition is allowed, but it's a chiddush to say that at the work. Right, and that's why these svaras are explaining behind the mechanism of Tosfos.
Is he saying the fact that it's a chiddush is why the Maisa still works?
This is explaining how it works. Chidushu, Tosfos says chidushu, it shouldn't work at all because it's a totally separate idea. But because that's why Tosfos use it as a chiddush. Because t'nai is milsa achrisi, and it's looked at as uprooting the Maisa from the outside, that's why it's so mechudash, and we're going to limit it. We're going to limit its effect. Okay, we have a second. Let's try to get through the second one. The second idea, and that is Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam. What does Rabbeinu Tam say? Quoted here in the Ritva, in the Ramban. It's also quoted on the side of the Gemara in Ksubis, on that Tosfos Nun Vav, on the side of the Gemara, in the Tosfos Yeshanim, right on the side of the on the page. Nun Vav and Aleph. What does Rabbeinu Tam say? Anybody's here, Rabbeinu Tam? What does Rabbeinu Tam say to answer this question? Read it to you from the Ritva, from the Ramban. Ready to get Rabbeinu Tam? What does Rabbeinu Tam say? If somebody makes it t'nai, it's a beautiful hashkafic idea, besides halachic. All right, what does Rabbeinu Tam say? Even shehislam hashakasa b'Torah, einu elakem maflik b'dvarim. Somebody makes a t'nai against what it says in the Torah, it must be they're not serious. Because a Jew wouldn't do that. Einu elakem maflik b'dvarim. And then what does he compare it to? Uke Omer al Manashetali Lurakia. He quotes the Gemara in Kitzid, Daf Pei Daled. What does the Gemara there say? What if a man says to a woman, Ariam Kudeshesli al Manas, that I fly up to the heavens? Are they married? The Gemara says yes. Because if you make an impossible t'nai, then the t'nai falls away and it's meaningless. Says the Gemara, says Rabbeinu Tam, making a t'nai against what it says in the Torah is just like making an impossible to fulfill t'nai. And that's why the t'nai falls away. That's amazing. Right, Amanasha Tali L'Rakia. There is, if you want to look in the, I didn't give it to you to look at, but look in the Gilyonei Hashatz, that's Rabbi Yosef Engel, on that Gemara in Gittin. Rabbi Yosef Engel says, let me just find it because you're not going to believe that he says it. When did he live? Let me just find it. Yosef Engel died in 1910, I think. 1910. Rabbi Yosef Engel says, if somebody makes it impossible tonight, then it doesn't work. But it says, I'll read it to you. It's in Hey Daled. Where are we? Hey Daled. Tzarachiyun. Zed davar efshari. Imavur b'medrash. Gam hayom osin kain al yedei luft balloon. Hot air balloons. Because we have hot air balloons. Hold on 1 second. He talks about air balloons. That a fulfillment of Amanasha Tali L'Rakia. This is a classic of Yosef Engel. Or Minchas Chinuch, they had it in his days. He says, Gam hayom. Tzarech lomar. What do you think he answers? That it's impossible tonight? He says, no. Tzarech lomar? No. Amanasha Tali L'Rakia means by my own arms. That's how we understand what he meant. Doesn't mean going up to the heavens, right? He didn't have airplanes. Mashma rak bekoach atzmo ka'ofa poreach lo yedei davar acher afilu miyeh gam yedei davar acher b'chlal pricha b'tznoam azlinim batzor lashon b'nei adam. You go after lashon b'nei adam. It doesn't stop there. If you look in the Chashuke Chemed for Zilberstein on that Gemara in Gittin, he says, where is it? Okay, I don't know where it is. But he says, 1 second. Okay, I don't have it. He says, we say in Kiddush Levana, the other Mepharshim talk about this. Remember, just we say to the moon, just like I can't touch you, so to my enemy shouldn't be able to touch you. So they say, I know I wasn't born yet, but they say that when man walked on moon in 1969, there's a big shaila. What did he do by Kiddush Levana? We can't touch the moon. What do you mean? I can't touch you. We can't touch the moon. Obviously, the same answer is given. I mean, we can't touch the moon physically. You can't touch the moon without a spacesuit on and without whatever the normal way. But it's the same idea. So we assume Amanasha Tali L'Rakia is still impossible. It's still impossible. But what does Rabbeinu Tam do? Rabbeinu Tam says that if a Jew makes a t'nai against what it says in the Torah, then it is either we made a t'nai about something impossible, and therefore it doesn't work. And it falls away. Again, that's the language of Rabbeinu Tam. He's maflig b'dvarim. He's maflig b'dvarim. So I'm not sure if it's 100% clear. Do we treat it as maflig b'dvarim? We treat it as something impossible, or do we say deep down he doesn't really mean it? If you look at the different formulations of the Rabbeinu Tam, I read you from the Ritva. If you look at Rabbeinu Tam there, quoted on the page in Ksubis, Tahave maflig b'dvarim, the ein zet t'nai klal, he's kaima t'nai. I mean, it could be, if he means it as, well, deep down every Jew doesn't want to go against what it says in the Torah, then it would remind us of the Rambam in Hilchos Gerushin, which some of you I'm sure are familiar with, in Perek Beis Halacha Chaf. They gave you on the Mar Makomos. And that Rambam, if somebody's supposed to give a get and they don't want to, the peasant's allowed to beat him up, and until he says, okay, I want to. And that's called Ratzon. But the Rambam says there, every Jew wants to do the right thing deep down. Every Jew wants to do the right thing deep down. The peasant is just removing his Yetzer Hara so that he does the right thing. You never saw that Rambam? That is a classic. Beis Chaf in Hilchos Gerushin. Mishatachvo Yitzra Hara Levatel Mitzvah Olasos Avera. If somebody's Yitzra Hara overtakes him, this is the Rambam rationalist talking. If somebody's Yitzra Hara overtakes him, to Mevatel a Mitzvah or to do an Avera, and they bang him until he says, "Fine." Ein ze anos mimenu elahu anas atzmo. I'm not saying this is Lamaisa today, but I'm just saying theory. They're not forcing him, his Yetzer Hara is forcing him. And they're just removing his Yetzer Hara because every Jew deep down wants to do the right thing. That's what the Ritva and the Ramban and the others quote Rabbeinu Tam. Second answer to the question, why is he married? It's against what it says in the Torah. He doesn't want to do it. The answer is that it's against what it says in the Torah. It's like a t'nai on something that's impossible. Nothing to do with t'nai miltzach risi. It's like something impossible, and therefore it is not accepted. Let me ask you, why did Tosfos give this answer? Meaning, what is a chiddush about this answer? Why wouldn't Tosfos give this answer? Could you compare impossible and against halacha? No, maybe those two things shouldn't be compared. Now, Rabbeinu Tam says if it's against halacha, it's like it's impossible. Who says? In a person's das, halavai, that should be the case. Halavai, if Hashem says something, that should be possible. If Hashem says no, it should be impossible. But Tosfos could just argue with Rabbeinu Tam and say that's not a good comparison. You can't compare impossible against halacha. Also, if you think about it, and maybe we'll finish with this and then we'll do the third approach tomorrow. Think about it. What's the difference if we wanted to concretize the difference between these two answers in terms of what they're focusing on? Tosfos is focusing on the definition of Tanai. The definition of Tanai is something external to the Maisa. That's the approach of his answer. I think that's a chiddush about the Tanai itself. And therefore, if it's against what it says in the Torah, that doesn't matter. But the chiddush of Tanai is that it's external, it's miltzach risi, as we said. Rabbeinu Tam's answer is about the das hagavra. It's not about the Tanai, it's about the matna. The one making the Tanai. That's a very different focus. Two different ways to approach the problem. Two different ways. One is the mechanism, and one is the person. One might say it's the chepsa or it's the gavra, one might say, but that's the difference in the focus of the two different kinds of answers. Two different kinds of answers that we have in front of us. Here's one more answer that I'm gonna do tomorrow, and then look in the continuation of that Tosfos and Ksubis, Daf Nun Vav. What happens if somebody makes a Tanai against the Torah but doesn't realize it's against the Torah? Shogeg. Does that work or not? Think about whether it should or shouldn't. And then the next, it's a separate topic, but a really fun topic, very Lamaisa, and it's an exact opposite of what we've been talking about. We've been talking about a Tanai to go against the Torah. What about a Tanai to fulfill something in the Torah? Are you allowed to do a mitzvah al Tanai? Does that work? Do we ever do a mitzvah al Tanai? Ever allowed to do that? Making a Tanai to do a mitzvah. Let's say your shul davens, you might mizman Kriya Shema, you're not sure. So what do we do sometimes? I'll say Kriya Shema in the morning and say, if my shul is going to mizman Kriya Shema, this should be my Kriya Shema. And if not, I want the later one to be, because that one's with the brachas, that one's the mitzvah b'hidura. So that's what a lot of people do. Does that work? Like, you can't make a t'nai against the Torah. You can make a t'nai on mitzvahs. Is there anything mechudesh about that? That's going to be our next topic that we'll spend a day or two on. because we'll see it's the exact flip side of what we're talking about here. Okay?